Crypt riffs I've been thinking. Welcome to the crypt.
Searching for the keys, they're locked up on the inside. Are you feeling strange? Are you just too strange? It's been such a long time since you said you were fine. Haven't had a drink in so long, you cannot think. You're feeling really plain, so you just complain. Yeah, you think you've got it bad. Welcome to static friction, crossing all the lines, can't tell fact from fiction. Do you feel confused? Are you feeling used? Bon voyage or problems, you can never solve them. Need some time to think, you know, you're on the brink. You're feeling very plain, so you just can't play. Yeah, you think you've got it bad. Welcome to my world, to my world. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world, to my world. Welcome to my world. Lights don't let me down, give me what I need. Lights don't let me down, give me what I need. Lights don't let me down, give me what I need. Just this one time, just this one time. Welcome to my world, to my world. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world, to my world. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world, to my world. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world, to my world. Welcome to my world.
Hello, everybody. I wasn't going to do the show today because I had an emergency with my cat. She seems to be doing okay at the moment. She is here in the corner resting with me. It's going to be a rough one for me today. Emotionally speaking, I'm so sorry. I found out that one of my good friends died yesterday, and it's been very difficult. Ironically, it's not the way I thought it was going to happen, knowing that the chance was out there that it could, but in a way, the fact that it is happening, or has happened, that it happened the way that it did is, I don't know, it's really hard. I am, I'm struggling a little bit, and I'm so sorry. Today is going to be kind of a little bit more shaky, but also lax. I managed to connect my Discord account and my Twitch and my OBS and all of that. So I am live on Twitch right now. I don't know how many people are going to be tuning in or seeing this. I don't know how many people are listening. I don't know how many people care about these kinds of things, but I think it's important that we talk about loss today. I know for some people that might be difficult. I feel a little conflicted talking about some things often because, you know, there's just so much going on in the world, and I was already in need of a palate cleanser from all the Epstein stuff because I just can't deal with it anymore. I need I need a palate cleanser for sure. One of the crazy things about all of it is oh cool, I got a new follower on Twitch. Awesome. I don't know, it's just all very difficult. I'm very disorganized with my thoughts today. I just got off the phone with my dad. I have dads tuned in. Thank you again for listening and hanging out with me for those few minutes before the show. It was actually my dad's idea to go live despite all of the things because maybe talking about it will help. I don't know. I'm probably gonna cry. So if you're on Twitch and you're tuning in and you see this, to my left on the screen is a picture of my friend Sean. Sean and I knew each other as teenagers. We met at a magic convention in Las Vegas when I was 17. And Sean and I bonded instantly. We had this incredible chemistry. I've never experienced anything like that with anyone else. I had something similar with someone years prior to that, and I didn't quite understand it, but it was absolutely electric, and there was something very special about that friendship. And I'm very grateful for Sean and for his family, especially his mom, Teresa, and you know, over the years it's been hard to stay in touch because everybody's got their lives and there's so many things going on all the time. Some people are, you know, some people are struggling with mental health like Sean did, and some people are struggling with health issues like his mom was, and, you know, my mom and I have struggled for a long time. I have other friends who have struggled with other health issues and things, and it's difficult. It's difficult to deal with it all and try to keep track of everybody, and you know what I mean? Like, it's hard. It's not an easy experience. It's difficult. It's difficult. And, you know, it's hard. It's very hard. It's really hard to wrap my head around, because I knew Sean through some dark times. You know, we went through a lot together as teenagers. We experienced a lot growing into adulthood together, and Vegas was not kind to all of us. I mean, Vegas isn't really kind to anybody, if I'm honest. Las Vegas is a very bizarre place, but, you know, Sean and I really found ourselves as people there. I don't know that it helped us be the people we wanted to be, but from what I understand, Sean was becoming the person he wanted to be more recently than ever before, and I'm really happy for him that things were going so well. I'm sad that due to a random occurrence of events, that it didn't go that way, and I don't know how much I should or shouldn't say on air. I don't know how much his mom would care one way or the other. I know Teresa is a very strong person, and we talked for like an hour about everything, but I just as a PSA to people, if you are someone who recreationally indulges in substances, I guess, is the best way I can put it. I don't know how much I can or can't say on certain platforms, but if you are somebody who recreationally does certain substances, I want you to be very, very careful, please, for the love of God. There is so much fentanyl laced in everything now. You can't trust anything you get on the street. They are pushing fentanyl in everything and anything, and you never know if you or someone you know will be at the end of the experience of finding out the hard way whether or not what you are doing and taking and consuming has literal poison in it. And it just absolutely kills me that there are people out there pushing these substances on people and pretending to be their friends, selling it to kids and people who are weak of mind or who are just struggling in life. And I hope that anyone and everyone who sells substances and knows that they are laced and dangerous and can kill somebody, I hope you go down forever. You may not be the most wicked of people, but you are at least complacent in the exiting of souls, and I hate you. I hate everybody that consumes these things willingly, knowing full well that sharing it with somebody could take someone else's life. If you are consuming it, I don't hate you for consuming it and trying to escape reality or escape your demons. I don't hate you for experiencing the traumas that you experience. What I hate is that you are doing it knowing full well there's a chance that it will end terribly and your loved ones will have to be the ones to deal with it. That breaks my heart. I love my friend, and it kills me a little bit inside that we stopped talking a few years ago because I couldn't deal with it. He had a lot of struggles, and the way he dealt with it, it was too much for me to try to be a part of, and it hurt me too much to keep seeing my friend go down these paths, knowing full well how much damage it could do, and I expressed, how much it concerned me. And he just kept doing it, and I couldn't keep coming back to that. I would catch him in moments where he was clean, and then also moments where he had relapsed, and it just broke my heart because I didn't want to remember my friend that way, and especially after all the friends collectively that we've known through the years who have struggled with substances and not made it out in the best of ways. I couldn't, and I had to put distance between us. And what hurts me the most is that I was thinking about him for days leading up to this, and I hear people say this all the time. I thought about this person, I thought about reaching out, and I told myself, I'll do it tomorrow. And for me, this is the first time I've experienced I'll do it tomorrow, and tomorrow didn't come the way that I thought it would. So, I'm so sorry that I didn't reach out sooner. But he reached out to me, and I saw him in a dream this morning, and I didn't understand the context. And it was very difficult to process this afternoon that he was being Sean, and he was coming to just be him and be buzzing all up in my space and be his goofy, wacky, erratic self and trying to get my attention and interrupting whatever I was doing in my dream. And I told him, stop, get out of here, go away, you butt nugget, you. And he was like, don't worry, I'll be seeing you. And, it's hard. I lost a friend in 2017, I think, or 2018. I think it was 2018. I got the phone call from our mutual friend, his then almost ex-wife. They had separated at the time. And she had called me and she said, B, I'm so sorry to tell you, but I just got off the phone with the police and Phil's dead. And I remember letting out this sound of terror. The only other time I've sounded like that is when I found my cat had passed away while I was at work. And when Phil had passed, Phil had overdosed on heroin, allegedly. I personally think someone else had something to do with that, but that is a whole other conversation that I won't get into right now. But Phil had a lot of problems also, and he had gone back to friends who were the reason that he had started it in the first place many years prior, and he and his wife were separating and had a very messy divorce, and he came to me in a dream, also like Sean, being kind of a shithead like he was, just picking on me. And I was trying to carry suitcases down, like heavy suitcases down a driveway in some Utah suburban space I've never been to, and in my dream, dream logic, I was fighting with people who I have a very deep detestment for today because of what they've done to me and my family. And for whatever reason, those were the people that were fighting with me in the dream. And I'm dragging these suitcases down this huge Mormon suburban neighborhood driveway. And Phil was at the end, and he just looked at me and he was like, B, what are you doing? What are you doing, B? And I said, I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to get out of here. And he was like, but what are you doing with these suitcases? Like, they're not even yours. And I looked down and I realized, you're right, these aren't my suitcases. I've never seen these ugly things in my life. And he just put his hands on my shoulders and he said, it's not your burden to carry. This is not your load to carry. This baggage is not yours to carry. You don't have to clean this up. And he said, this is my baggage, and you don't have to clean this up for me. I'm okay leaving it here. This is where it needs to stay so that I can move on. And I remember thinking, like, that was just so strange and so specific and yet so vague. And I woke up feeling kind of off, and I didn't know what to do with it. And so when she called, and I won't say her name because she doesn't deserve the attention, but when she called me and she said, B, he's dead, I was so distraught because I think that was the first real loss I had experienced. I was like 23 maybe, 25, something like that. It was the first significant loss I had experienced personally, and I didn't know what to do because, much like with Phil, we hadn't spoken in, I don't know, I think it was either a few months or at least a year, because he didn't handle his separation well, and he was not the nicest to me the last time I had seen him. We were both going through a significant breakup. I was breaking up with my boyfriend at the time, and he and his wife were separating, and I had only spent a year and a half with my partner, and he had been with her for, I don't know, like 10 years or something. But everything I experienced in the year and a half I did with my partner felt like 10 years. It felt like a lifetime, and I felt like an entire life was being robbed of me. And so, in a way, I understood what he was saying, because I don't believe that the amount of time you spend with someone means anything compared to what happens in the time that you spend with somebody. And while they had had a very, extensive amount of experiences together in that decade, I'm not, discrediting the amount of time you spend with somebody at all. You spend a decade with someone, that's a large portion of your life when you're in your 20s and early 30s. You know what I mean? Like, that's your entire that's your entire adult life, basically, to that point. And I don't discredit that in any way. I just know that what I experienced with my boyfriend, the amount of growth I experienced as a person, the crazy stuff that was happening to me at the time, it felt like decades, plural, had been robbed of me. It felt like I had spent an entire lifetime with this person, and it was a devastating breakup. I thought that was somebody I was going to spend the rest of my life with, and the way that it all ended so abruptly was so violent, and I didn't know how to deal with it, and it took me years to get over. I don't know, in some ways I'm still not over it. Like, he's moved on, and it's been 10 years since I've seen my ex. We're still friends. But since then, he's gone back home, and he's remarried, and they've been together for like 10 years now. They've been together for about the same amount of time that we've been separate, which, really, really crushed me for a long time. In Phil's case, he never moved on. His wife did, almost too easily. Phil didn't move on. For him, she was the only person he knew he would be with, and it absolutely destroyed me to know that I had seen, in a premonition, I had seen him leave this world, and I didn't know what to do about it. I didn't know what it meant at the time. I didn't know how to deal with those feelings. I still think about him and that dream and the way that he left. I think about the last time we spoke. And now, someone I was much closer to is gone. And I didn't get to say goodbye. And I know it's kind of cliche because you hear it all the time when people lose somebody. It's always, keep your loved ones close, hug them, tell them you love them. But the reality is, it doesn't matter how many times you do or don't say it, you're always going to feel like there could have been more. There should have been more times. And in this particular case, it didn't have to happen. And the person who gave my friend the substance that took him in the end, she probably knew that there was a chance that could happen. She probably knew that it was laced. I'm sure, because that's just the kind of people that do those things. You don't sell substances and not know the risk. And the fact that people are just okay with that. They're just okay with selling that kind of stuff to people. They're okay with whatever happens. I'm selling it to you, and I don't really care what happens. Good luck. I think those are the worst people. I think they are the worst people. And it's just really hard. It's really hard. And, Sean was fun for a long time. He was a good guy, and even in the less fun times, it was fun. We talked about all kinds of things, and he was a goofy guy. He's a fun guy. He struggled. He had some demons, and I didn't understand a lot of it. A lot of it was just too much for me. It took me places I didn't want to be. It reminded me of people I didn't want to be reminded of, and I didn't have the constitution to be there for him during some of those struggles because it was just too much for me. And I'm really glad to hear from his mom that he was doing better and he was happy for the first time in a very long time. He was happy. And he was very proud of where he was going. He was proud of himself. And that's all I wanted for him. I just wanted my friend to be happy. And as his mom put it, the only comfort I have now is knowing that he is at peace and he doesn't have to fight those demons anymore. He doesn't have to deal with the horrors of what's going on in the world right now. Lucky him. It just sucks because I would have liked to tell him all of the cool, good, positive, awesome things that have happened for me since we last spoke, because I know he'd be happy for me. In some ways, I feel like he's just hanging out, listening now, and he's just telling me that he is happy. I know he would be. And I'm so happy for him up until this point that he was doing so well. And I'm gonna miss him. I miss a lot of people. I've lost a lot of people the last few years. Mostly to weird accidents, bizarre circumstances that didn't need to happen because someone else was just not, I don't know, they weren't paying attention, they weren't being considerate, they didn't consider the people around them or what they were doing, they're being irresponsible, and I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to not just be aware of your surroundings to keep yourself safe, but be aware of your surroundings to make sure the people around you are safe from you too. Don't be texting and driving in the middle of the night intoxicated. Don't text somebody while you're on the highway, especially at night. Don't leave a fight angry and not tell anyone where you're going and drive so fast on the interstate that when you hit something, that's it, you just turn to pixels, okay? Don't go out and get drunk in strange places where no one knows where you are and no one can find you. Don't hang out with people that your friends and family are convinced are shady and scary, because when you disappear and they have to find you months later in a car, in a field, it hurts everybody. I don't like hearing stories where my friends and people around me are hurt and alone because all we can think is if you had called or if we had known, we would have been there. There was somebody who was a part of my family when my mom was married, and her brother got wrapped up in some stuff. Her brother and I bonded. We were really close, and his name was Tommy. We were really close. I didn't see them often, but when I did, Tommy and I were always hanging out. He was always very sweet and very kind and very encouraging. And he was like a really, really good friend, a cousin. He was kind of like the older brother I always needed. And, you know, he had such a good head on his shoulders, and he just kept getting into weird stuff. And I guess he was dating some girl that nobody liked, and she ended up isolating him from the family. And then, you know, he and his sister, who were really, really close, they had a fight or something, and she knew something was wrong. She knew something was wrong, like terribly wrong. And on Thanksgiving, we didn't hear from him, we didn't see him, and I knew immediately that something terrible had happened, and I had pulled her aside to try to talk to her, and everyone kept telling me, don't do that, don't talk to her, don't say these things. But I did. I talked to her, I told her what I thought. I said something is wrong, and you need to find him. And a week later, we got a phone call from my aunt-in-law at the time who said they found him, and he had been murdered and left to die in a car in a field like 2 or 3 miles from where his sister's house was. He was so close to home, and he had no way to call out. They had taken his phone, his wallet, everything, the keys to the car, and they just left him there. Nobody knows what happened. As far as I know, they never found out who did it exactly. They had suspicions, but no one knew enough about that woman or the people around her to do anything. You know, as far as I know, the family never got full closure. And that always bothered me. That always sat wrong in my stomach. And I've met some shady weirdos in my life, and I have watched my friends become the shady weirdos. My friend Max Krause, who's a magician, in 2020, was riding his bike on his way home to talk to me about a magic show that we had been trying to work on for a long time. I had been talking to Max almost every day for 2 months about magic and doing a bunch of stuff, and I was working on a trading card game of all these famous magicians that we knew collectively and people that we thought deserved more attention, and we had this big project. And maybe it's one of the reasons I stopped doing magic, really. Maybe it's one of the reasons I just seceded. Maybe it's one of the reasons I really stopped drawing, because I haven't been the same since. But Max was riding his bike, as he always did, and I had just gotten off the phone with him, and we were so excited. He said, I'm on my way home. I'll call you when I get there. You know, let me say hi to my wife, and we'll get started on the project. And 12 hours later, I got a phone call from someone else who had seen my phone number in Max's phone. They didn't recognize it. His wife didn't recognize my name. And I had only talked to her a handful of times, like in the background. I think I met her once. And they called and they were just like, who are you? How do you know Max? And I told them, and they said, I'm so sorry. He's in a coma. He was riding his bike and somebody hit him in their car. They were texting and driving, and they didn't see him. And he will probably not make it through the night. And then that same person reached out to me over the next couple of days to keep me posted, and they told me when Max passed away. And, I just, that was probably the second most significant personal experience of loss that I had had in a very long time. And I thought about it, and it reminded me of, in 2016, my best friend at the time. I hadn't heard from her for a few days after she'd had a fight with her boyfriend. And we were all supposed to go hang out and watch the movie They Live. Ironically, her boyfriend Xander was an interesting guy. I only met him a couple of times, but he, I don't know. Something about the two of us recognized something else in each other that he felt he didn't get from a lot of people. And I was kind of dubious about him because of how she had described their relationship. It wasn't the healthiest. And then I actually spent some time with him and was like, oh, she's really the problem. Checkmate. I love my friend, but she was pretty much always the problem in the relationships. But Xander seemed like a pretty good guy. He was a little weird, a little different, a lot like me. He saw things other people didn't see. He had pattern recognition and knew about some dark stuff people kept telling us were conspiracies that have now ironically come out to be true. So Xander and I think about him, and he visits me periodically to remind me that I'm not insane. These things are happening, and we talked about how one day we would drink to all of the stuff that's coming out now. We were gonna drink to it in like an ironic cheers of this isn't really something. It's like a dark cheers, it's not really something you want to cheers about. It's not something you want to celebrate, but it was something that needed to be acknowledged, and now here we are, and I don't have money to go get a drink for either of my friends. But Xander and my friend Nicole had a fight. I don't remember what about. It was stupid. And she basically told him to piss off. And so he went to see the movies that day by himself. And as he was coming home from the movies, I guess he was in the crosswalk and someone just plowed through it because they were texting and driving and they didn't see him. They hit him and they drove away. And a passerby happened to come and comfort him and be with him in his final moments. And she didn't find out what happened until 2 weeks after the funeral, when his sister posted about it on Facebook. Nobody wanted to reach out to her. I don't know why. I don't know if they knew they were together. They'd had a big on-again, off-again experience, so I don't know if it was one of those last time they had talked, they thought they weren't together. I don't know. I don't know, but I've never seen anybody with the look on their face that she had, and it will haunt me forever. Because I didn't know any better. I was just there. Like, I experienced the loss from such an outside, perspective. But it just killed me that my friend had to suffer through that by herself because she didn't have anyone to turn to. Because everybody else was like, well, I thought you guys broke up. And it wasn't even like I'm so sorry that you lost somebody that you're in love with, that you care so deeply about, even though you don't have the healthiest connection. It was just, oh, well, I thought you guys broke up, so, like, why are you sad about it? And it was just, like, the lack of empathy, the lack of support she had just destroyed me. Because all I could think was, like, damn, those are supposed to be your friends? And she came to me, and she cried in my arms for hours, and I think she spent the night, and she stayed with us for a couple of days, and then she finally went home. And I just think sometimes, like, the people who don't have that support, like, how do you deal with that weight? How are people surrounded by so many people they think are their friends, and they don't even have the decency to support you in an experience like that, Like, so many people are just lacking human decency today. And by today, I just mean in modern times. Maybe it's always been like this. I don't know. I don't understand how you can say you're someone's friend and then have absolutely zero empathy, zero sympathy, just nothing for them. I just, like, who are you at that point? What are you doing? And why? I don't know. I don't have anyone chatting in the bot or in the boxes or anything, but I genuinely just want to know, like, how do you deal with that? How does anyone else deal with loss? How do you deal with it in a healthy way that doesn't just get shoved down and boil and fester later? How do you deal with it without jumping into drinking or other things? Not that I do those things, but I genuinely I want to know how other people deal with loss, because I sort of just waste away sometimes about it. When my cat died, I stopped doing a lot of things for a long time. Bagheera was my best friend. That was the most significant loss in my life. I lost the love of my life. That cat was everything to me. He was my whole universe. He was my best friend. For almost 14 years, that cat saw everything. He was with me while I grew into adulthood. He was with me through multiple friendships that blew up, multiple careers, multiple relationships. We moved all over the country together. Bagheera was my support. When I had problems with people or I lost somebody or something, he was always there. That cat was always there for me. More than people. And when he died, I just felt so empty. I still feel very empty. And I have lots of people who love me and care about me, who check in on me. I have 3 wonderful cats, 2 of whom give me all of the affection. They're sitting right here in the window with me. They've been trying to comfort me for the last couple hours while I've been bawling my eyes out. And I don't know how people manage in life without having that, whether it's from a pet, a friend, a family member. I don't know. I wasn't going to do the show today because it's just a really heavy topic, and it's sad and it hurts. And I'm trying so hard to keep it together, to not be a blubbering fool on the radio and the internet, but my heart hurts. I miss my friend. Sean was a really incredible magician. He was an artist. He was a comedian. He was so unique. I don't think I've ever met anybody like Sean. Sometimes my boyfriend reminds me of him because they're a little bit similar in some behaviors and the way that they think and the way that they talk about stuff, but truth be told, I don't think there is another person like Sean out there. He's one of the most unique individuals I've ever met. He was so smart and so knowledgeable and so interesting, and you know, it made me so sad knowing that his demons would win so frequently. That he was always fighting something. And I know that's really hard for a lot of people, you know, when you're running from something and you're fighting something constantly. It's hard to stop running. It's hard to stop fighting and to find peace without it being an end, you know? And I'm so proud of him for finding a little bit of peace before having to be brought into peace unexpectedly. Sean and I were going to do a magic show as teenagers, and I'm still really bummed that we never got to, but I got to see Sean perform on a stage, and I saw the potential for where he could go with magic if he really wanted to, and we wrote a whole play together. And I think about it every day because it's the one thing I wanted more than anything in life was to do that show. And a part of me feels like I'll never be able to do it because the show was written for us. That was supposed to be what we did. We were going to do that. We knew each other so well that we could read each other while we were doing those tricks. I knew how to... I could read him. I don't know. Maybe Sean and I knew each other in a past life or something, because we instantly connected and we just knew each other better than anything for a long time. And we had a very bizarre back and forth, and I know that we cared about each other very deeply, and the stars just never quite aligned for that to be a successful experience, and I think about that a lot. Sean was always somebody that I always imagined would just always be around. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Zim. I just saw your hearts in chat. I wouldn't even know where to start with doing the show. I would love to be able to do that. To honor my friend. I wouldn't even know where to start. I don't even know that it's as easy to tell the story anymore. Also, I can't remember. I took photos of Sean at that show that he did when he lived in Fallon. He did it at the high school. They had this beautiful theater, and he and his other friend, Travis, I think, Travis was dressed as Crowley or Mr. Crowley, or had some crazy kooky character, and Sean was this very emo kid, you know, lots of stripes and stuff. He was a very Tim Burton character in a way. And they had this really interesting performance, and they did these really cool tricks, and they had a bunch of pictures from that show, and I can't remember now if I gave all that stuff to his mom or if I still have it, but I made a scrapbook one time when I was like 17. I don't remember if I gave it to his mom or if I still had it, because I was so torn about it, because like I was crushing on Sean, and we were all goofy and in feels for each other as teenagers, and it was silly, but I don't think either of us ever really felt that way about anyone else for a long time. And I don't know, we were just like instantly best friends, and the show that we came up with was so, it was like we were reading each other's minds, like we were sharing one thought and I don't know, just the writing of it was so smooth and so perfect, and we had all the tricks lined up. And at the time, as I knew Amazing Jonathan at the time, and Jonathan was telling me different illusions and stuff to look into, different people to contact, and I was friends with Dan Sperry at the time, and there was a trick that I thought of that was similar to one that he does with his wife, his girlfriend at the time, but now they're married. And I don't know, there's just something about it that was just really cool, and I've just never had that experience with anyone else, ever. Ever. I don't know, man. My spirit is very heavy. I don't know, man. Loss is never easy, and I feel like every time I turn around, there's more loss happening. And I thought this morning I was gonna lose my cat. She was having such issues. She's so sweet. She's such a precious little bean right now, just curled up in her bed. I was so worried. She was so sick this morning. I thought I was gonna have to take her to the emergency vet, but I don't have enough money for that. And I was running through my head, like, what kinds of terrible things am I going to have to put up with and deal with, like, what horror am I going to face today with my cat, who's one of my, sweetest little friends, and now she seems to be mostly okay, but I'm going to keep an eye on her, like I said, and it's great that she's just sleeping right here, so I can... But yeah, I don't know, man. It's a heavy day, so I'm sorry to cold open the show with a lot of feelings, heaviness and stuff. I don't know. I had a whole show I was gonna do with Lombi from Strange Universe here at Rev Radio, and we were gonna talk about some very specific stuff, but then I thought I was going to have to cancel because of the cat. I thought we were going to have to take her to the vet. That didn't work out. And, the timing of it is shit too, because my boyfriend's at work, out of town. My mom has to go to work. Like, no one would have been able to take me, so I would have been, I don't know, man. I'm in a weird position where, like, things are mostly okay, but when they're not, everything is awful. And it sucks, and I'm sick of this feeling. I do everything I can, and it just never seems to be enough sometimes. And I don't mean that to be just like a Debbie Downer mood, but really, sometimes I feel like I'm doing everything in my power, and it's just not good enough sometimes. Most of the time, it feels like it's just not good enough. And I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to make things better. I can only do so much. But I don't know. Ugh. It hurts my soul too, because Sean's birthday, him and his mom share a birthday, and their birthday's in 2 days. Didn't even make it to his 35th birthday. Or 34, I guess. I think he's younger than me. 33, man. Crazy. I don't know. Something that's crazier, too, is I didn't think I'd make it this long. And here I am. And I don't know. No one ever tells you what it's like either to be convinced that you won't make it past, like, 19. And then you do, and because you were so sure that you weren't going to live outside of, your teen years, when you make it into your 20s, you're kind of like, oh, all right, I'm still here, but I don't think I'm going to make it very far. And then you make it further than you could have possibly imagined, and then it's like, now what? I didn't make any future plans because nothing was working. And And all the plans I've made the last few years with intentions to move forward have been shot out of the sky, like people hunting ducks or quails or whatever. I don't know. I finally was starting to take flight, and then COVID hit, shot me right out of the sky. Didn't kill me. Broke my wings. I haven't been able to fly, but I've been moving. I've been trying to get back up there. I can get in the trees now. I'm not very confident my wings will carry me far, but now it's like I don't even know what direction to go because nothing seems to be working. I'm watching the fall of Rome, and I just want to know when I can stop paying taxes. Like, when does money become irrelevant so that I can just go back to being bartering with stuff? You know what I mean? Like, we're in such a bizarre time where everything is so trivial, like so much more trivial than normal. Like, what are we doing? Companies won't hire. Thousands of people are out of jobs more than ever before in history of the modern age, I should say. I'm sure lots of people didn't have jobs for a long time. The elites are being exposed. All the billionaires and celebrities and all the super rich people who just know each other, they're all being exposed. Politicians, musicians, actors, they're all being exposed. They've been right there under everyone's nose for so long, and they're all being exposed now. And they're all being exposed. Like, what do you do? What are we supposed to do as the general public? None of them are getting charged. Because if you charge one, you have to charge them all. If you charge them all, the whole system fails. Well, the system's been failing. The average person experiences so much devastation with loss, whether it's loss of life, loss of career, loss of stability. I feel like I'm doing pretty good considering that every turn I take, it's just, I just fall into a pit, it feels like. Being on the radio is the only thing that has given me stability in years. And, it started with just one day, and now I have 3 days of radio. And, I really enjoy being able to be here. I say it as often as I can. I'm so grateful for this space on Revolution Radio. I'm so grateful to have this radio show. It means the world to me. And it means even more to me that I was allowed to have a second show, and they asked if I wanted a third or more. They said, just make sure you don't get burnt out. I don't know. I feel like I can't get enough time on the radio sometimes. I feel like there's so many things to talk about, and I have so many interesting people to share with, and being able to have these conversations, albeit, could be mostly private. It's kind of nice to share this with people because you never know who needs to hear these things. You never know who needs to know that they're not alone. You never know who else is out there listening that just needs to hear something or needs to know that someone else is out there and that they can reach out. If you need help, if you need support, there are so many places to get it, but it doesn't always feel genuine. And I'm grateful for everyone that tunes in on Revolution Radio and listens to our streams, and I'm so grateful to, Nighthawk, who I never got to meet, but for him having this station and setting it up and making sure that all these hosts have availability and space. I'm so grateful for Solaris for introducing me to the radio and convincing me that I should be here. And I'm so grateful for the people who have supported me this whole time and said that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, Some days I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. Some days I just really feel like I'm floating down the river. I'm just doing, you know what I mean? Like, I just I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. I'm just here. I try to plan things out. Sometimes it ends up on a whim. I don't know, man. We're about to go into break, so I just sorry for the cold, sad open, guys. I really needed to talk about it, and I really appreciate all of you out there listening for holding this space for me. It really means a lot. And if you're into that, if you could just maybe light a candle for my friend. Light a candle for him and his family. That would mean a lot to me. Ironically, today's color is white. And, we're going into his moon cycle, and it's absolutely crazy to me, Yep, the moon is going into Libra. I guess that's not really, it's not really his moon cycle. I don't know for sure. I think he was a Libra moon. I have to double check. Don't quote me on that, actually. But I'm pretty sure it was his moon cycle. And, whew. I don't know, it's just a lot. It's a lot. And, whew. He was definitely an Aquarius, that's for sure. Yep. He had a Libra moon. That's wild. That's wild, the way the universe aligns. Crazy. Whew. Anyway, this is Revolution Radio, Studio A. This is Omnium-Gatherum, and I'm your host, Miss B the Cat. And I just want to say thank you for listening and being here and holding space for me. Thank you for tuning into my radio show every week. I'm sorry it was so disorganized. I'm gonna go reheat my coffee, collect myself when we come back for the second hour. I'll try to be a little bit more positive. We're going to break. I'll see you guys in just a minute.
Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
Did you ever feel that things were not quite right? That everything was just ever so slightly askew?
Do you have, to paraphrase Morpheus, a splinter in your mind?
If you're interested in hearing the latest information about UFOs, the paranormal,
ancient cultures and structures,
monatomic elements,
longevity,
fantastic discoveries in science,
downloaded to your brain,
then tune into us. Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mackie.
And we are Shiny Side Out, Sundays 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern. See you then.
Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
Do you want to really get to the roots of good health and stay strong for the storms ahead? Then listen to Bridget's Well, Healing with the Elements of Life. Tuesdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Studio A, where stories are shared about traditional foods, Chinese medicine, and simple, healthy living skills. Listen to Bridget's Well, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Studio A, right here on Revolution Radio.
Mountain High Time, 2 hours of an organization to the madness, discussing the ever-changing dynamics of being both physically and mentally prepared for a plethora of possible outcomes to our future and present. A look into the latest technologies, new scientific discoveries, and how they might be used in connection to the human domain and controlling it, ancient cultures and places. Be warned. This is an opinionated look through headlines, guests that are not afraid to question the narrative, a little bit of crazy ramblings of a stoner conspiracy factus that pushes constitutional concepts. The place and the time are the same, another dimension we call Mountain High Time. Saturdays 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Mountain High Time, right here on Revolution.radio, where information never sleeps and truth breaks the spell.
Join Revolution Radio every Sunday at 5 p.m. Studio B for Strange Universe. For Strange Universe.
I want to thank everybody for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, the one place where information never sleeps. Revolution Radio.
All right, let's show them what we got here.
All right, thanks for listening while we took that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And yeah, we're going to get back to your host.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So sorry about all the sad feels and stuff, but like I said, thank you for holding that space for me. I think my dad's right. I think I should do the show today because, you know, it gives me something to kind of talk about and focus on, so I'm not crying my eyes out. I'll do that after the radio. Gigi still looks a little bit ill. She looks like she's not the comfiest, but she is doing a little bit better. Poor thing. Her sister's keeping her company. I didn't do a great job at the cold open, but this is Revolution Radio. This is Studio A. This is the Omnium-Gatherum show. I am your host, Miss B the Cat, and I have some of the saddest feels today. But, bye, Momo. We're here. We're doing, I'm sorry, it's very disorganized. I don't have a lot. I didn't think anything through today. I was gonna have Lombi of Strange Universe, whose bumper you probably just heard. I was gonna have him join me today. We're gonna talk about all this stuff, and I guess we'll just do that at a later date. You know, because I don't know. There's Thursdays are a different show than usual. I guess I can give you your week in color, and we can talk about some magic stuff. Sunday was the first of the month and was an Imbolc super full moon. Imbolc is there's a, for those of you who are on my Twitch stream, I will be showing you stuff, but in this Witch's Date book, which is kind of like an almanac, but not quite, it says, Imbolc, the holy cow. Some sources say the word Imbolc or Imbolg can be translated as in the belly, referring to the pregnancy of cattle and thus signifying milk production, while others suggest it refers specifically to ewe's milk. Whatever the truth of the name, the link between this Sabbath and the milk-producing domestic cattle cannot be denied, and so it makes sense to explore the folklore and mythology of the humble cow. The cow is one of the earliest animals to be domesticated, and as such, plays an important part in our history and survival. It makes sense then that the cow is regarded as sacred in many religions, including Hinduism and Buddhism. But more than that, the Milky Way could be said to be the milk of the celestial cow after birthing the galaxy. The Egyptian gods are some of the most familiar, owing in no small part to their depictions with animal heads or parts. Hathor, the goddess of love, joy, and gentleness, was depicted as a cow, and in other folklore from Ireland, cows are associated with magic, including I don't know how to say this. Hold on, let me Google this really quick. I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't know who Lukewarm Were is, but hello. I see that you are a first-time chatter, and I appreciate you being here, hopefully for productive reasons. I get a lot of spam sometimes, though, so sometimes I'm not sure how to respond to people. I apologize in advance because it looks like your it looks like your message is censored for some reason. Anyway, so let me oh, there it is. How do I say this? Pronunciation. There we go. Glasgow. Govnan? How do I say it, though? How do I actually say it? Glasgownan. Gavilan. Okay. The internet says it's pronounced Glasgownan, which also means gray cow or gray cow of oh god. How do I say this? Govnu. Glasgownow of Govnu. I'm not saying that correctly. It's Irish, and I don't speak enough Gaelic regularly to understand. But anyhow. In other folklore from Ireland, cows are associated with magic, including the Glasgownan, a mystical cow that could produce vast amounts of milk. And so this invokes super moon, enjoy a glass of the white stuff, and toast to the holy cow. I wish I had read that on Sunday. But, you know, because we're not quite in a full moon anymore. It looks like it's probably, what, a waning crescent, waxing crescent? Hold on, let me see. Let me pull up the moon app really quick. No, get out of here. Waning gibbous, just kidding. I'm really bad at putting all that together last minute. I'm so sorry. Moon is moving into Libra. Our moon age is 18 days, 2 hours and 16 minutes. New moon is in 11 days, 13 hours and 52 minutes, and our sun is sitting in Aquarius right now, and the moon is at 84% waning gibbous, so she's still doing pretty good, She's rotating quite a bit. It's really cool. I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but the moon app for the iPhone is very interesting. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it here on Twitch. But it's a very realistic picture of the moon, and you can get out of here. You can go through the different moon cycles, and you can see how the moon rotates and shifts depending on the times and whatnot. It tells you like the time of day and whatever. And that's pretty cool. Usually I check that more regularly. So I'm sorry that I didn't, but today's color is white, which is for I'll try not to cry again. Like purity and magic, you know, oh, my feelings. Purity, holiness, new beginnings, clarity, divine connection. In some cultures, like Chinese culture, white is used for funerals. Oh my gosh. My feelings hurt so much. In Hindu and various Asian traditions, white is worn to symbolize the soul's journey to a new life, focusing on the continuation of existence rather than the end. In many belief systems, white's also associated with angelic energy, healing, and the comfort of the divine. So, there's that. But yeah, in most East and Southeast Asian cultures, white is the traditional color of mourning, symbolizing the death of one life and the beginning of another. And when it comes to dealing with grief, a white feather appearing during grief is often interpreted as a sign of a loved one's presence and a message of peace from the spirit realm. And if you give someone white flowers like white lilies or chrysanthemums, it's often used to signify grief and honor the departed. And I don't know if I'll be able to get any flowers, but I think I will crochet my friend a flower. Interesting enough, like, Sean loved flowers and he loved colors and he was a very interesting person. And I remember one time for Valentine's Day when we were teenagers, we were like 19, we lived in Vegas, and he had been dating some girl and she absolutely devastated him. And I was dating someone who was an absolute tool and a waste of time. And I didn't really know what to do, because Sean and I ended up single on Valentine's Day together, but we didn't want to do Valentine's Day stuff. So I just remember I went to the grocery store and I bought a bouquet of carnations, I think it was. I had like white and yellow carnations, and I gave him a couple. I left a couple at my house, and then we just walked around Las Vegas Boulevard giving out flowers to people who looked like they didn't have anyone for Valentine's Day. And we did some magic at the street bars and got into some trouble with a couple of street magicians that we knew. And we went to see a couple of shows together. And it was nice. It was nice. And then Valentine's Day in, oh gosh, what was it? 2020? I was here in the sort of north of Austin area visiting Sean and his family. They let me stay with them for quite a while. I was out here, was supposed to be like 2 weeks, and I think I ended up out here for like 2 months, trying to find work and stuff, right before COVID really shut everything down. And I remember Sean got me a bouquet of white roses for Valentine's Day, because he was like, I couldn't remember what flower it was that you got me back in the day, but I know you're going through it and you're having a hard time with the loss of, you know, whatever stuff you've got going on. And he was like, so here's, yeah, every girl likes roses. Also, I'm taking a couple for myself because these are pretty. He's like, they were the prettiest flowers at the grocery store, and I didn't want you to spend Valentine's Day alone. I have to work, so you are still spending it alone, but like, at least you have flowers. And I remember that was probably the last nice thing we both did for each other. So I think I'm going to crochet a rose for Sean and put a picture of him up over here on my computer station. I think Sean would be proud of me for all the things I've done and how far I've come, and I miss my friend. I'm sad that we didn't reconnect sooner. So much happens in life sometimes. You lose track, and that's it sometimes. And it's a big bummer. I don't know what his family needs right now. Mostly just time and space. They mostly just need people to stop asking what to do, what they need, because the situation they have is mostly a hurry up and wait. So they're just kind of spending time together processing their loss. But if I can help them, I would like to. I don't know. I have a drawing I did of Sean in high school that I still have. It's one of my favorite drawings I've ever done. It's done in charcoal, and I remember Sean telling me he was really proud of it when I did it. He said it was one of the best portraits I'd ever drawn, and he said one day, if you decide you don't want to keep it anymore, you should give it to me, but should I die before then, you should give it to my mom. So I told her today on the phone that when I can get to it and get it into a nice frame, I will send it to her. And I really wanted to draw something. I don't know. I really want to draw. I miss drawing. I miss doing art. It's hard, especially when I'm so deep in my emotions sometimes, it's just, it's hard to draw. It's hard to draw sometimes. It's hard to do anything. I crochet because it's mindless. I don't have to think about it too much, and I can sort of get sucked into it. But when I start drawing, I think too much, and sometimes drawing brings back bad memories because it reminds me of all the times I was told I couldn't go anywhere with it, and I have all these things I want to do. I have all these illustrations I want to do. I have all these thoughts and ideas of things I want to bring to life, and I just don't know where to start. And funny enough, I told Teresa today, Sean's mom, I said, I have all the things I need to be successful as a creator right here within my reach. I just don't know where to start. And I'm so focused on how I don't have anyone to hang out with. My boyfriend was going stir crazy and is not as social as me and does not want to talk about the things I want to talk about most of the time. And while we do spend time together, he needed, personal space, because I don't know what people feel when they spend a lot of time with other people. I can spend days and days and days at a time with people before needing to recharge. My boyfriend does not have that. He has a few hours, and then he's like, I need you to leave me alone for a significant amount of time, because I've run out of things to talk about. My social battery is dead. Please don't talk to me. I need to go do something else. And so he's been playing video games for the last few weeks. And for a while, my mom was like, ugh, he's just playing video games again. And all I can think is like, well, I'm on the computer and binge watching TV very often. So yeah, if he's playing video games, at least he's doing something more productive with himself. And he's not like descending into madness, reading terrible news of the man-made horrors of the world like I am. So, you know what? playing zombie games is a lot more productive for your brain, I think. But, yeah, I don't know. It's hard because I've been feeling like I've been experiencing a significant amount of loss and isolation for years now, and it's been driving me insane. I used to tell people for a long time that I'm fine in my own company. I'm fine alone. I don't need people. I like people. I want to be around people. And now I'm starting to realize, like, no, I do need people. I need to be around people to recharge. I need to vent and talk and chat with other people. And then I realized, like 2 days ago, that I think that's an excuse I've told myself. I need people so that I don't have to be alone forever. And for me, forever is just a couple of days. If it goes longer than a few days, it is forever. And I guess I just don't know what to do with myself if I'm not wasting time like watching TV or scrolling the internet. I've deleted TikTok. I don't really frequent any other social media anymore except to accidentally get lost down rabbit holes of creativity overload. And I need to just be diving into my projects. I have all these things I want to do, and I just don't know how to start because I don't know how to sit down and I don't know what discipline is, I guess. I'd say I don't know what motivation is, but that's not the problem. I'm plenty motivated. I don't have the discipline, I guess. I need structure. I need some kind of time structure. I don't know. Oh, damn, I should have been recording this whole time. Shoot. Okay, well, whoops. I guess I don't know if I can save this on Twitch. Rip. Ugh, God, I'm so mad at myself. I'm so disorganized. I didn't even hit record on my video, so I don't know if I'll be able to make clips out of it. Not that I think this is probably one of those episodes I shouldn't make clips out of. I don't know how to do that shit either. I don't know how to I don't know how to be efficient with internet things. I'm still trying to upload stuff audio wise to certain websites, and I have to listen to my own shows over and over and take notes on what we talked about because it's been so long and no one did that before when I asked them to, so I have to do all this extra work, and I don't know. Sometimes everything is just overwhelming. I understand some people like to say, you know, I started from the bottom and now I'm here and I did it by myself, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that one bit. You can't do anything in this world alone. You have to have people or you can't go anywhere because it takes a community to do literally anything. Unless you just happen to know how to do all of the things and you just have the money to not have to worry, but I am not someone who knows what that's like. I don't know how to video edit. I don't know how to do audio editing. I don't know what websites to be using. I barely know how to use the social media that I have for anything efficient. I can post videos that I make on my phone that I use through like Snapchat, and I can post pictures. I can edit photos. That's some of the best I got. So I have to learn a lot. I gotta learn a lot to be more efficient. And a lot of people tell me all the time, like, well, you gotta start somewhere. Like, sure. But also, you know, just starting somewhere isn't very helpful because where? Where do I start, you know? But anyway, I only have the radio 3 days a week, and most of the time it's a hit or miss whether or not my guests will be able to join. So I try to spend time putting together information to talk about and resources and stuff, but I also know that a lot of people come to my show because I don't always talk about things going on in the world and discussing the horrors of man. And when I do, it's pretty serious. I know a lot of people follow me on, Twitter, get really tired. I gained a lot more followers on Twitter. Actually, it's something I noticed the other day. I was at 717 followers for a long time on Twitter. I'm at 747. Somehow I feel like the 747 is actually where I've been for a while, and while it grows, it also drops significantly constantly. I don't know. I would like to hit 800 followers on Twitter X, but I don't know, man. It's just really difficult because a lot of the times I'm just, my social media is me just reposting stuff, retweeting things. Here's something positive. I would like to share something positive so that other people who have experienced the loss may rejoice with me in this experience. Mariano Barbacid, who discovered the cure for pancreatic cancer, who needed 30 million euro to begin human clinical trials, is halfway to receiving all of the help that they needed. I don't know if he's the one who did it or someone else, but there is a fundraiser that you can donate to. I've shared this on all of my social media multiple times. Wow, that's incredible. The treatment that he's done has already successfully eliminated the disease in mice, and he would like to go into human trials. They need 30 million euro to be able to do that. They have made 1.9 million euros so far. No. I'm sorry, hold on. He needs 30 million. They've made 19 million so far. Excuse me, I don't know how to read. They've made 19. Oh, wow. That's incredible. He's 55% of the way there. I don't know why this is not reading the way that it probably is supposed to. I don't know this person. All Day Astronomy at For All Curious shared. Oh my god, they've made even more since that. They're at 20 million, so they're like 75% of the way there. Ooh. That looks like it says 3 million. Hold on a second. Wow. That's incredible. Okay, let me share this really quick because this is really amazing. How do I share this? Can I Oh, it's in English. Oh, cool. I can translate it. Okay. So crisiscancer.org got this donation up. The article says, he has succeeded in curing pancreatic cancer in mice. Now he needs our support to cure it in people. Scientist Mariano Barbacid, a researcher at CRIS Against Cancer, has made history by eliminating one of the most aggressive tumors for the first time in mice. 95% of the patients with pancreatic cancer do not survive. Donate to help move this research forward because patients need us. Dr. Mariano Barbacid and his team, funded by CRIS Against Cancer, have achieved what once seemed impossible, curing pancreatic cancer in laboratory mice with long-term results and no side effects. No side effects. That's incredible. This is a historic breakthrough, a crucial first step. Now we must move forward and fast because our ultimate goal is to cure pancreatic cancer in humans, one of the most aggressive cancers with a survival rate of barely 8%. Before these groundbreaking results can reach patients, one essential step remains, ensuring that the strategy developed by Dr. Barbacid and his team is safe and effective in people. To carry out this critical phase of research, we need to this says 3.5 million euro. We need your help, so please donate now to be part of the generation that can cure cancer. The project. Pancreatic cancer is often one of the most aggressive cancers and has one of the poorest prognoses. It is usually diagnosed at a late stage, and current treatments have barely improved survival rates over recent decades. In response to this reality, the project led by Dr. Mariano Barbacid, one of the world's most renowned cancer researchers, aims to bring about a radical change in how the disease is treated. What is the research based on? Most pancreatic cancers are caused by alterations in genes called KRAS, K-R-A-S, which acts like a switch that keeps cancer cells growing uncontrollably. The challenge is that KRAS is extremely difficult to target and to target directly with drugs. For this reason, Dr. Barbacid's team has developed an innovative strategy, blocking other key proteins that depend on KRAS and are essential for tumor growth and survival. If these proteins are switched off, the cancer can no longer progress. After years of research, the team has identified several of these critical proteins and tested different combinations of treatments in experimental models of pancreatic cancer. The results have been extraordinary. In many cases, tumors have completely disappeared with no serious side effects and without returning after the experimental treatment is ended. For the first time, pancreatic cancer has been completely eliminated in preclinical models, something never before achieved in this type of tumor. So why is this project so important? Because it shows that far more effective therapies are possible for one of the most deadly cancers. This project not only aims to treat the disease at advanced stages, but also to better understand how pancreatic cancer begins, why it is increasing among young people, and how the tumor environment prevents the immune system from attacking it. Importantly, the discoveries made by Dr. Barbacid's team are designed to be translated into clinical trials, bringing these advances from the laboratory closer to patients. Looking ahead, the ultimate goal is to turn these discoveries into safe, effective treatments that can transform the outlook for pancreatic cancer. Supporting this project means accelerating the development of new therapies, opening new avenues of research, and offering hope to thousands of patients and families who currently have limited options. I'm going to post this link. Give me 1 second. How do I go to my profile? That's incredible. Like, holy shit, you guys. Sorry for the language, but like, oh my god, this is absolutely incredible. So, the Twitter post says 30 million euro. This says 3.5 million euro. They've hit 58% at $2,013,420 they've made so far out of the 3.5 million. So they've still raised 2 million. They're 58% of the way there. Absolutely incredible. I cannot believe this. I'm putting this in the Discord chat if anybody is listening at Rev Radio, and then I will put this here on Twitch. Absolutely incredible. I'm also going to share this on Facebook really quick. I feel bad trying to ask for my own donations because this is something of far more importance. More people will appreciate this. Absolutely wild right now. I really hope that goes through. My grandpa ended up getting pancreatic cancer toward his very last days, and one of my very good friends lost his father to pancreatic cancer. So this is incredible. This is truly incredible. I hope that this moves fast for these folks and that they are able to I hope they're able to get this into human trials, because this is amazing. We've had the cure for other cancers for a very long time, and the industries at hand just don't want us. They don't want us to be healthy. They want recurring patients, so they keep making money. And so if they can eliminate cancer altogether, maybe we can have a proper change of the world, you know? And I don't know. This is amazing. And it's incredible. Also very emotional. I genuinely hope that this helps so many people. So I have shared that on my Twitter. If anybody's interested in following me on social media recently, I know a lot of my Twitter and stuff has been, even my Instagram, I haven't really been on my radiogram, but my artgram is mostly just reposts and retweets and reblogs and whatever, of all the things regarding the Epstein files and, again, the horrors of man. And, it's hard, it's really hard to not talk about that for me, because this is something that I've been talking about for many years, and it's very heavy, and it's very dark, and it's very gross. Absolutely wild that this stuff is coming out. You know, we're watching the fall of Rome, but it's the whole planet, like the whole world is falling, and it's hard to focus on personal things at this time, you know. And I keep seeing people saying you have to keep creating art. The world is falling apart around you, but we have to keep creating art. I have to keep coming on the radio. I have to have stability somewhere. And I guess being here on the radio is my stability for you guys. And it's like the one thing that I can do to connect and stay connected and be stable. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, if you are tuning in on Twitch, it looks like it's just me watching myself. That's fine. For those of you who don't know, I do stream on Twitch, or at least I have in the past. It's been interesting, to say the least. I've been trying to figure out how to connect Discord and OBS and all that so that I can stream on Twitch while I'm here on the radio. So I want to give a big shout out again to Revolution Radio. That's revolution.radio. I'm on Studio A. I'm Miss B the Cat. I'm your host for Omnium-Gatherum, the kaleidoscope of discussion. I know that my graphic here just says enter the kaleidoscope. Someone had it made for me. I think it's cute. It looks like an image of me. I don't know. I know it's AI and people are all mad about it, but I like it. It's cute. I'm very conflicted about using AI, but it's the closest representative to me as I can get, artistically speaking, for what it is, you know? It's got a very artistic splash to it, you know. I'm trying to save up what little income I have to get a proper keyboard, because this one's not great. It's from Five Below, and the keys are absolutely killing me. I hate trying to type with this thing. But I would like to get a proper headset. If you can see on Twitch, this is covered in tape and is ripping my hair out periodically. because the sound's all messed up for some reason and the button doesn't work. I don't know. I've never needed it before, but now that it's plugged into this brand new computer, it's having issues and the button doesn't stay pushed down and all that. And I would like to get my cat ear headset back. There was a pair at, I think it was either Target or Best Buy for like $50, and it was like rose gold, which is nice because it matches all these random tools that my boyfriend got me, which are like these, he got me these pink, X-Acto knives or whatever, and this cute pink mini measuring tape, which I appreciate. He got them because he likes pink. He thinks it's a nice color. I like that it's got this sort of rose gold vibe. It's pink, and I've got like nail clippers of the same color. I'm not really a pink person typically, but recently I've been really falling into the love of pink at a certain shade. But I like rose gold. I would like to have a matching keyboard, just for the aesthetics, because you'll be able to see me streaming. Yeah, I don't know. So this graphic that I have is the closest representative visual of me with the clocks in the background and all the time and stuff. I was going to do a show with another group of people before that got kind of weird. It was going to be called the Kaleidoscope of Time. I don't think that they technically have the registration for that. I don't know if that's something that I can use again. I feel like that might just be the name of the website. I don't know. I feel like Kaleidoscope of Time is a lot nicer and more put together than some of the other things I've come up with, but, everything I do is in and out of time, and, everything is kind of a kaleidoscope. So I don't know, it's its own thing. If you're on Twitch and you've never seen this before, it's because this is my radiogram and not my art stuff. And so above me, visually, is the name of the show, the name of the website, if you would like to listen later, as opposed to anything else. Like, if you're not wanting to stream, you just want to listen, there's a schedule. Thursdays 4 to 6, Fridays 4 to 6, and then 6 to 8, and then Saturdays 10 to midnight. That's my schedule. That's Eastern Standard Time, Revolution Radio, Studio A. I do have some t-shirts available for my radio show because here at Revolution Radio, all of the hosts are volunteer. We share our time with you guys, and we are a listener-supported radio station. So if you would like to support us, you can go to revolution.radio, and one of the first things that pops up is information about, if you want to become a patron, if you'd like to donate, ways to support the station. We take crypto stuffs. I think it says Bitcoin, Ethereum, and something else. We do take cold hard cash. We have a PayPal available. A couple of hosts have their PayPal and YouTubes and stuff available if you would like to support those hosts outside of the radio station as well. My PayPal is up there. You can also see here on Twitch. I have the t-shirts up in the corner. There must be OGKD. That's my anagram or whatever for the show. Omnium-Gatherum Kaleidoscope of Discussion. It's funny because it says Omnium-Gatherum at the top and it just says enter the kaleidoscope at the bottom. So that's just been like the regular. It is the Kaleidoscope of Discussion, but you are entering the kaleidoscope with me every show that we do. Because every show and every conversation is much like a kaleidoscope. You look in it and you turn every direction. It becomes its own piece of art, and that's been like a consistent theme, is everything's just very different. It's kind of like playing a game of telephone, but through time, because any time that you listen to these episodes, it could be any time within a time period. Today is the 5th of February. Yesterday was my dad's birthday. Oh my God, Sunday is, I guess today is technically my birthday on the radio, because this is the Thursday of the week I started. My first show on my own solo here, my first Omnium-Gatherum show was February 8th of 2024. So I guess happy birthday to Omnium-Gatherum. I think I will do a proper Omnium-Gatherum birthday next Thursday, the 12th. The color is turquoise, so I feel like that's a little bit more positive. But holy cow, holy fish, y'all. We have been here for 2 years already. I've had a lot of bumps, but my Thursday show is 2 years old as of this week, and I think that's incredible. Since last, I think June, maybe July, I've been doing the Thursday shows all by myself. I don't have a co-host anymore. He bowed out. We haven't spoken since for some reason. You know, that's a whole other thing, but I've been doing this for 2 years, and I love it. It really brings me a lot of peace of mind and positive everything. I'm so grateful to be here, truly. And anyone who supports the radio station, thank you so much. If you would like to support me, also, if you would like to get yourself an Omnium-Gatherum shirt, they are $45.99. I say plus shipping because I can do international shipping, but I have to look at those prices. And shipping in the United States, I think, is like $7 extra, so that's not too bad. But it's $45.99. I have, I think, small up to definitely 2XL. It might go up to 3X. I have to double check. I don't know that they have extra small. It is technically a unisex shirt, but I would say like it fits like a men's. If the small fits like a men's medium, so like a fitted men's medium. So it's still a little bit big, but it is a nice fit. If you are busty like me, you might want to get a large. It still fits very nicely. The mediums are pretty good. They're still a bit roomy, but if you are a little bit thicker in the shoulders to chest, I would suggest medium or large. Like go up a size. I don't think these ones, I don't think you have to worry about shrinking with these, but I would definitely suggest washing with cold water. Just t-shirts in general, you should wash with cool water at least, and then maybe hang dry these. I believe these are printed, not, what is it called? I don't think they're sublimated. I think they're just printed, so I think it's just decal printed on. So I think it's probably like a vinyl print. I'm outsourcing them currently through Printful, but I can make them in-house physically, which I'm working on doing. I just don't have the money to buy bulk t-shirts myself. I design the shirts, I do the art and the elements of it, but right now I'm selling them through Printful, so you can contact me. You can buy them through my Ko-fi page. Ko-fi, it's ko-fi.com/missbethecat. You can send me the money on PayPal or Cash App, and just say you can say OGKD T-shirt, and you know, and then I can work on getting that sent to you. If you subscribe to my Ko-fi page, it's a little bit easier for me to keep track of that because you can subscribe. I think I have like a minimum tier. Let's see, let me pull it up really quick. I changed it the other day. So the copper tier, which supports the radio, is $3 a month, and that basically covers stamps. If you would like to order prints or anything, also that gives you, I'm going to start doing some behind the scenes and frequent stuff. If you subscribe to my Ko-fi, I will give you the link to what will be my private YouTube when I figure out how to get that connected, and just updates about the show. You can send in ideas of things you want me to talk about. You know, I will have the Twitch link posted there, and I will be doing, if I can get 10 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway where you will either get a free shirt or a print and another like secret treat. So if you subscribe, you can give me your address. I can mail that to you. If you would like to be there and support me on Ko-fi in general as an artist, you can subscribe to any of the tiers. And if you subscribe for 6 months, you will get a package that says thank you. It will be a hand-drawn postcard, and I think I have the mug available. I have to double check that really quick. Let's see. Yes. If you've been here for 6 months, I stole the idea from Patreon, because I don't really like Patreon, but I like some of the ideas that they have. If you're here for 6 months, you will get a mug, like a ceramic mug. In this case, it'll probably be the Omnium-Gatherum mug as opposed to my Whiskey Girl mug. I think that'll be a separate experience. If you are subscribed under the copper tier for 6 months, you will get a radio-specific gift. If you are subscribed under the, silver tier for $5 a month, or the Beth and Zoe tier, which is $15 a month, those will have specific gifts also. If you subscribe on my silver tier, you will get a care package. It will have a print, a sticker, and a hand-drawn postcard thank you letter. And then the Beth and Zoe tier, which is for my comic book, that will be Beth and Zoe swag. I haven't decided yet what. I have to finish uploading a bunch of that stuff, but probably stickers and a couple of prints and maybe my cupcake recipe, if you're into that. But anyway, if you subscribe and you support me there, that would help me a lot. I will be closing my spicy site, which I have, where I have been focusing on some adult content, artistically, my illustrations and some of the photography I've done over the years. And I mean, I used it for everything. I say spicy site because that's technically what it is now. That's all anybody uses it for. But my my O&F page is going to be closing soon because I don't have the patience to split my attention anymore. And I have a small person that comes and goes in the house often, so I can't really work on some of my adult art because I tend to leave that stuff out sometimes, and I don't need that to happen. So I will be putting that in the background. Maybe I'll revisit it when I can get my website up again, and that'll be like its own separate stuff. I don't see a lot of people buying that kind of artwork anyway. That's more fun for me to just kind of have an outlet to tell small stories. I, wrote some adult stories. We talked about, different types of relationships and different things that happen in adulthood. And I have a lot of coming of age experiences, working through 20s, like college age, into like 30s, which I consider actual adulthood. And there was a lot of topics that I shared and worked on that page that I got a lot of really good feedback on. People really enjoyed the short stories that I told, but the website itself is really censored also. And so it got to a point where like I couldn't even type out a story without it having a bunch of flags. And I also found out that the owners of OnlyFans are Zionists, and I'm not okay with that. So they take 20% of every single sale that I make, and I just think that's some BS. It was fun for a few years, but also I have a boyfriend now, and it feels weird to have that website, even though I don't post anything explicit of myself. I draw stuff. I don't know. It just feels weird, and I don't want to be part of it anymore. I don't like the, I don't like the stereotype that people put me under. I don't like the way people treat me when they see that, especially online. People will just say really messed up stuff, and then they go subscribe just to be trolls, to try to get something on me, and then they send me messages being like, sorry, I bullied you, your art's really good. And it's like, thanks. I don't know why you did that, but all right. Get therapy. But I don't like the stigma, I guess. I didn't like the stigma of having a Patreon either. I just don't like the way people look at you. I think that as an artist and a creator, we should have spaces where we can do whatever we want creatively that doesn't, grant people permission to be shitty to us. I have a lot of friends that are in the adult entertainment industry, and the only people that don't give them flack is other people in the adult industry, and I think that's weird. I think people should support people no matter what they're doing. You don't have to like what I do or what they do. You don't have to be invested financially in that. You don't have to, I'm not coming to you for having a say in any of those things, but that doesn't mean that you get to tell me how to live my life. That's how I feel about, you know, you don't really have a say in what other people do in their homes. So whether someone's gay or trans or likes to do drugs or drink or have an open relationship or whatever it is that they do on their own, as long as they're not hurting other people, it's nobody else's business, and it's nobody's business to be telling you how to live your life. And the fact that there are places on the internet that you can't even, like, be a person without people, like, tearing you apart and being awful is also really lame, and it bums me out super hard. And I just don't want to deal with it anymore. It's not productive. OF was a main source of income for me for a while. It did really good. But I don't have the constitution to split my attentions anymore to all these different things, and I don't have the photography equipment anymore. I don't have the, editing software. I don't have any of the stuff that I did for the last several years available. It has dwindled significantly, and most of the people aren't there to watch me draw, so when I do the live streams where I'm drawing, they don't really care. I don't get a lot of interactions, and the same 8 people that support me there are people that I've grown to know over years, some of who I know in real life, and most of whom I've made friendly with on the internet, so hopefully they'll all just be somewhere else on the internet that I can connect with them. But if anyone's interested, I will be doing Twitch streams more frequently. Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays, I will be here on Twitch doing art and art-related things, maybe video games. I finally got Steam set up. I was playing The Sims last night forever because I needed a palate cleanser, and it was a fun, dumb way to just waste my time. But I would like to dedicate at least one day a week to playing video games with folks online. I think that's fun, and I think I need that. Otherwise, I'm going to be working on Beth and Zoe, and maybe some other, like, miscellaneous illustrations periodically, but I have these art markers somewhere. I don't know. Oh, yeah, here they are. So as I said, I deleted TikTok. I'm not doing TikTok anymore. It's kind of a bummer, but on TikTok Shop, I bought these Artly markers. They're acrylic markers, and I got that for free on my birthday because of a discount. And I got these JusArt, Jusart markers. There's 48 of them. They're great. I'm gonna do a pen review of those on different surfaces. For those who are interested, I was working on a tiny canvas of one of my OCs, and this is with the Artly markers, so it's very limited color palette, and I stopped because I felt like I couldn't really complete the image in my head with 6 colors because they all kind of blend together at a certain point. They don't really... I'm not really good with the contrast of, like, limited color palettes, so I will try to finish that particular illustration with the Artly pens and then do the same or similar image on another small canvas with the JusArt and a similar color range. I'll do a review if anybody's interested in that kind of stuff. I also use a lot of Staedtler supplies. I have Staedtler colored pencils, Staedtler pens, so I will be using those along with some Copic markers for a lot of my illustrations. I have been focusing on how to start the comic, and I have this cool comic book sketchbook. I've talked about it a few times on stream. I talked about it last week with Zombie Zim. There's a lot of different, like, comic panels, styles. They kind of repeat after a while. I have, like, 4 of these for some reason, or 6, I can't remember. I might have given a couple away. I have multiple of these, but I make photocopies of each of the panels and pages that I'm going to be using, so that the sketchbook itself lasts a little bit longer. But that's what I plan on using for Beth and Zoe to keep it simple. Yeah, anyway, if you're interested in supporting the comic book, like I said, you can go to ko-fi.com/missbethecat, subscribe to the Beth and Zoe tier. I will be working on that over the next few days more. I know I've said that for a couple weeks. I'm finishing the outline, sending that to my friend, and I will be on stream. I will be illustrating the characters and talking about them in the story. So, if you're interested in that, you can go there. Yeah, anyway, so I will be streaming on Twitch from now on, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, as well, to hopefully get more people to tune into Revolution Radio. My radio show is my pride and joy right now. It means everything to me. Like I said, I like that I have the freedom and ability to talk about pretty much anything and everything that I want, and I can have any guests that I want. I would like to highlight more folks that don't have a platform like I do, and by that I mean, like, being on the radio is an incredible place to be. I don't know how many people do or don't tune in. You know, it could be 6 of you, it could be a few thousand. Either way, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, and if I can maybe, you know, do some more Twitch streams alongside this and get people to understand that, like, we are a terrestrial radio in a way. We are on the internet, but you can check out our archives if you're interested. If you missed the show, you can go to revolution.radio, go to the archives. It walks you through how to check it out. All of those are free right now because we have some incredible listener support, and there's an endless amount of information on Revolution Radio. All of our hosts are incredible people, and it's just a really wonderful place to be. I just, this feels like home, and I would like it to stay that way for a long time. So if you would like to support us, revolution.radio, we take all the support that is available. There's all kinds of ways. Monster says, B, you survived the 2 hours. I did. I'm gonna get off and go cry my eyes out, for sure. I'm gonna eat a cupcake in Sean's honor, and I'm gonna drink some extra coffee for him, and sit with my feelings, because I'll be home alone for a while. So, but I did it. I did the 2 hours. The cat is mostly okay. I'm glad my dad convinced me to get on it and do it, and thank you everyone for listening and holding that space. It means a lot. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go sit with my feels for a minute, and I will be seeing and speaking with you guys tomorrow. Please stay tuned next for Crypt Rick. And tomorrow, hopefully I'll be a little bit more composed. I don't think I have a guest, so I'm gonna play Tessa Violet's new song tomorrow, along with some other stuff to honor my friend. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your night, you guys. Stay tuned for Crypt Rick, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, just a second more, and I will be off of Twitch. Oh, yeah, okay. So, that was my stream today. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I know there was like 2 of you that tuned in. I don't even know if this is gonna save, so if it does, I will try to make some productive clips out of it. If you're interested, buy a t-shirt. That'll support me. Although right now, any t-shirts that I sell, that profit is gonna go to helping my friend's family pay for his memorial costs, and anything that they need. And yeah, if you're someone who does that, please light a candle for my friend and wish him well, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.